Hey everyone, Tim with the Word of Life Church. I know I did a small piece about this. Well, I don't know if it was really small. I think it was about 15 or 20 minutes worth of this, I think, on the first part of my last video. But I wanted to do a dedicated, titled video about this so people would have it and be able to see it and click on it and be able to get the information on it. Because I put it under a different title, an actual title to my last video, so someone might not recognize it and might not watch it, but has to do with the upcoming Satanic holiday that's coming, and it's a little bit in-depth because there are several little things that go along with it, so I wanted to do that. Most of you that watched my last video will know about it, but those that don't and actually will look for this will see the title and click on it. And some people that actively look for this stuff and people that keep an eye out for this stuff will look at it and will of course claim that I'm spreading disinformation and that this is not a satanic holiday, that this is just a druidic or a Wiccan holiday. What's the difference? Well, we just worship nature and we don't do this kind of stuff. Look, if you're not for the Lord, there's no middle ground. Well, yeah, there's no. If you don't worship the Lord, then you worship there's no nature worship, So I don't, there again, don't get in those battles. If you don't worship the Lord, then there is no middle ground. You need to put away all of your druidic and nature worship and paganistic ways, because I'm not saying that just because that you're into this other stuff, but that I hate you. No, quite the contrary. I want to see you get rid of all that stuff and worship the one true God, because the gods you worship and the goddesses, there are no goddesses, and you worshipped a horned god. I'm not saying the devil's a horned with red suit and a pitchfork, so don't get me into that argument, because that, believe me, I've heard and seen quite a bit. People try to drag you into these arguments and try to make you look foolish, okay? So, but anyway, you either worship the one true and living God, or you serve Satan. You serve the one that fell. And we won't get into that. Anyway, the main purpose of this video is to get the information about these upcoming satanic holidays. Okay, fine, if you want to go ahead and call them Wiccan holidays, pagan holidays, whatever you want to call them. Still does not honor the true and living God. Period. So, we'll go ahead and get the stuff out of the way. Starting January 20th, and this goes through the 27th. January 20th through the 27th. And this has to do with the upcoming Sabbath. Now, this is not Sabbath. It's spelled the same, S-A-B-B-A-T, but they leave the H off. Sabbath. It's not Sabbath with the H, but Sabbath festival of Candlemas. And yeah, I'm saying it right. It's like candle with the M-A-S. So basically like Christmas, but Candlemas, which is on February the 2nd. But January 20th through the 27th is the abduction and ceremonial preparation and holding of sacrificial victim for the Sabbath festival of Candlemas. And this is a sexual and blood type of festival ceremony, and this is for female or child of any age. Now, as I said, I stress the seriousness of this, and as I will in this one, in the last video, I took the time, 15 or 20 minutes in the video, of stress the seriousness of this. As I said, now if you people that listen to this don't believe that these people, what this stuff does, they believe it. So you prayer warriors, you pray against this. You pray against, in the spiritual warfare, you pray against the demonic activity that goes up around this and protects this, and pray that the light of God shines down on these people, that they will not be allowed to have any power. Because this has happened before. People have come to people that pray against this stuff, and they know that they pray against this stuff, and they've come to the people and says, and they know that they prayed against them. They said, "What have you done? Because I was not able to conjure up any spiritual power or conjure up any demons in my ritualistic or my ritual ceremony. I was not able to send any demonic power against anybody, and I knew it." And they knew it because these people, these groups of people, these spiritual warriors praying against them. True story. So there you go. Prayers work. The prayers of you prayer warriors, you work. It works. So the 20th through the 27th is, once again, the abduction and ceremonial preparation and holding of sacrificial victim for Candlemas, which will be held, which is on February the 2nd. Now, on January 29th, there is a smaller little, I don't know if you want to call it a holiday or something, called St. Agnes Eve. It's for casting of spells. I can only imagine to help strengthen, or casting of spells against the people of God and the churches and stuff to go against. See, it's a spiritual warfare in the heavens. All you have to do is look no further than the Bible to see that this stuff goes on. You know, in the Old Testament went on in the New Testament. Why do you think that's any different today? Still goes on. Still goes on. Now, same day as Candlemas is the Satanic Revels. Now, the last one we had of Satanic Revels, which is sexual in nature, was on the 17th. I warned you about that in one of the videos. But this is an actual Sabbath festival. I tried to make separate videos warning about these larger festivals, like I would with, like, Mabon, one of the big ones, Halloween, which is Samhain. That's one of the biggest ones of the year. I do a larger one with that one. There's another one coming up in February. That's going to be another big one. So February 2nd, tied in with Candlemas, is going to be another Satanic Revels, and that is sexual in nature. And it's going to be another, as the one on the 17th of January. It's going to be another 7 to 17-year-old female. Not pleasant information. Don't like bringing stuff to this, but if I feel like I have to, I feel like I'm sometimes the only one around that's bringing this information here, at least. And there's other people that go a little bit and talk about this stuff. I've heard some people. I don't know if anybody local. I'm not saying look at me, oh look at me. No, I'm just saying, because it's not a pleasant subject. It's not. It's not a pleasant subject to have to talk about this. You think I like, especially when I speak about the type and who's involved and what they do stuff. I don't say what all they do. When I say use your imagination, you can pretty much use your imagination and figure what goes on. And when I say, when police investigate the crime and they don't investigate the ritualistic part of this, or when they do, they don't release the ritualistic information about this, they just investigate the crime, and talk about maybe not really even the details of the crime. They just mention about who is involved. Then you can kind of get, if you're got common sense, you can kind of understand what is going on and what has happened. Not pleasant. Not pleasant at all. Not a good thing. So at any rate, we go back over and January 20th, 27th. Prayer warriors, start praying now. Now, it's the 18th. So start praying and pray all through it. Pray all through it against this stuff. 20th through the 27th, the 29th, through February the 2nd. Start praying. Start praying. Don't stop. Each time you get down and pray for whatever you're praying for, your daily prayers, mention this up and lift this stuff up to the Lord in prayer and pray against this stuff. Pray that these people will not have the power to do this stuff, and the people that would be abducted this stuff will be set free, that the light of God will be shining down upon these people and the things they do, and that they'll get caught doing this stuff. Just in the level of man's laws, kidnapping being a federal offense. Good. Haul them off. Well, brother, you should pray for them to get saved. Sure, get saved. But you still got to pay for your crime. According to the laws of the land. Right? According to the Bible. Obey the laws of the land. You still got to pay for it. Remember those dates. Start praying now. And pray all through the 2nd. But still keep your prayer wheels a turning, because you got another one coming up toward the end of February, and I'll be bringing that up to you guys after that. After all this, hey, you got to keep busy. There's enough for us all to be praying about. Praying against this stuff. It's a spiritual warfare. Part of that spiritual warfare, that's part of my calling, being a watchman. Not of any certain church, but just a watchman on this stuff. I've got to push it out to you guys. I've got to pray about it myself. Why do you think the end of my videos and when I'm bringing a message at church or another church, I've been doing evangelistic services, that's why I say, brothers and sisters, you meet me on that battlefield, and let's march against the enemy together, and we'll achieve victory. Pray together, fight these spiritual warfare battles together. So I wanted to bring that before you. Listen to the previous video, the first part of it. Listen to the whole thing if you want to. I'm just not saying, but if you want, if you want a little bit more in depth. But I did want to mention, as I mentioned last video, there again, don't sit there and go about it. Listen, think about it. If this was your kid, your wife, your girlfriend, your sister, whoever, you'd want somebody to do something. You'd want somebody to be praying. You'd want something. And as I said in the other thing, along with this goes hand in hand, pray against the human trafficking issue here in Tennessee, because that goes hand in hand. That's where a lot of these people come from. Goes West Tennessee, somebody, human trafficking, comes to East Tennessee. Don't have to worry about it. Disappears from here, comes here, they're gone. See how it works? Wicked, evil, fallen system we live in this world. That's what the enemy has control of. This worldly system. We got to pray against it. Lord, give us victory. And He has. On many occasions. We don't win all the battles. but we do quite a few. Eventually we're going to win the war. That's guaranteed. But a lot of the battles we do, He does give us victory on. So let's continue to pray. Just put our heads down and continue to plow forward in victory. Amen. So just remember all those dates. You got to replay this, write them down. That way you can have them before you and call them up to the Lord in prayer. Do so, whatever you got to do. Just pray. So, and if you get any type of knowledge, tips, see anything, if you got to call the law or something like that and take action, it's better to do something, not being sure, and it be something, a false alarm, than not do something and it actually be something. So, anyway, God bless you, and blessings in Christ upon each of you. And as I always say, meet me in the battlefield, and let's march against the enemy together. Remember these dates. All right, God bless you, and see you in the next video. Take care.